Alrighty, welcome back once again, my wonderful tome readers, for some more of the devil. Where we left off last time, we are not quite finished with part 0, the kind of like free demo portion of the game. Kind of introduces us to the mechanics and whatnot. And for those of you who missed that stream, let's see, we laid up at night, took on a client in need of a public defender. Well, late at night probably isn't the right term. Very early morning. We took on a client who was almost pinned as the guilty party in a series of serial murders. His girlfriend being the sixth, because she happened to match the profile of the other victims, have the same cause of death, very rare, by standards of this setting, antique gun that still uses gunpowder, that is still very loud, and leaving, remote traces like gunpowder on the hand and sleeve of the person who fired it. Stuff like that. We managed to turn up, support our client to the best of our abilities, and also get them free and clear of any charges. As there were some quite tense moments where it could have looked like them, but thanks to the cops themselves bringing up a image of the supposed killer, face obscured, only showing the hand with which they were firing the gun with, and proving that it was an image taken from a position where it's hard to tell, but it was a mirror. And considering our client only had one arm at the time, completely exonerated them of any charges. Shortly thereafter, in the last few minutes of the stream, we get a nice little twist that is very gently foreshadowed, in a way that anyone unfamiliar with the series knows that this lawyer we are playing as, Morgan, knows something that she isn't saying. Even one moment where it's insinuated that we know the killer personally, the Heartbreak Killer. All of the victims were shot in the heart, instantly fatal. After clearing our client, we get a flashback upon which we discover that Morgan herself is the Heartbreak Killer. And from this point forward, we're going to pick up, we're going to find out what exactly was the reason behind the situation we had to defend our client against. It's a little bit funny. Before we go into that, however, I understand that for many of the USA Americans, before my next stream, it will be the 4th of July. There's a fun little story I'd like to share first. I just needed to get the right... why did I not just get this ready in the first place? Whatever. Give me a sec. Alright, this is... supposedly, I can't prove it, but supposedly a real-life experience by one, I'm going to go ahead and copy their Tumblr username, because it's... oh, it's not letting me. Damn. I will spell out their Tumblr username, because it is something. Nicholas. Their Tumblr user who share stories about their life and funny anecdotes, what have you, in exchange for, people making kind donations about the fun and joy and just interesting experience they've been through. And this one has the flavor of something that I can absolutely see it having happened. I can also see it being kind of exaggerated for comedic quality and whatnot. But the reason we're talking about it today is because it is, in some ways, a warning. In other ways, one of the few joys one can find around the 4th of July in the States that is not directly related to the firing of fireworks or getting very drunk with friends. It starts as thus. I was raised agnostic, and tend to remain ambiguous on theological matters. But my house is a porch on the second story that affords me a terrific view of my neighborhood and the Colorado Front Range, and I was partaking of some peace before the 4th of July finger loss festivities begin. And I have had a spiritual experience. I just watched my neighbor try to unload an actual wooden pallet that had to have been forklifted into the back of his insecurity pickup worth of fireworks, except that he does not have a forklift in his garage. He does have so much sports memorabilia and cardboard boxes of unsold multi-level marketing merchandise and patriotically themed camping gear and posters of women in bikinis and flags of suspect political organizations in his garage that there is only barely enough space for the fireworks and certainly none for his truck. So he had to unload the individual boxes of recreational explosives in the back of his truck and stack them in the minimal space he had cleared by hand. This is a tedious and time-consuming process, as this neighbor has purchased a wide variety of recreational and locally illegal explosives, instead of many of just a few types. So the individual boxes are rather small. He begins, and this is crucial to what happens next, by cutting apart the industrial grade saran wrap his explosives dealer had so carefully wrapped his merchandise in, and discarded it, unsecured, on his lawn, where outdoor conditions sometimes happen. His process for unloading the fireworks is to 1. Climb up through the gate into the bed of his pickup truck, a feat made unusually difficult due to the slope of his driveway, and this man's fascinating decision to wear the world's stiffest and least flexible denim overalls. 2. Once in the pickup bed, he selects one, in parentheses, additional one box from the pile. He's apparently from a niche religious institution that doesn't believe in stacking things. Step 3, he carries it awkwardly around the pallet that barely fits in the truck bed. His wife yells, "Be careful," when he nearly falls off the pickup. Step 5, he yells, "Shut up," back at her. 6, the large German Shepherd barks from inside the house, which leads, of course, to Step 7, him yelling, "Shut up," back at her too. Step 8, he sets the 1 box down on the gate. 9, slowly and awkwardly climbs out of the pickup bed. And 10, picks box back up, carries it in the garage, repeat ad infinitum. Question: aren't you going to help this poor man? The answer: absolutely not. There's 4 military veterans, many dogs, and several people with dementia in this neighborhood, all of whom are terrified by his chicanery every year, and many neighbors have repeatedly asked him to maybe do the fireworks somewhere else. This is the 8th year running he's had a major demolition event in his own driveway, and for those of you who can do math, you may be able to guess the precipitating incident to this little ritual. Additionally, I live in Colorado, a state marginally less prone to spontaneous and catastrophic conflagrations than a rotting grain silo, but only marginally. Our recreational explosive laws are written accordingly. I am in fact currently calling the non-emergency line to report fireworks violations, and reading off the brand labels to someone named Dorothy, who is gleefully totaling up a spectacular fine for my oblivious neighbor. However, while I'm on the phone with Dorothy, I notice the wind begin to pick up. And by notice, I mean the industrial saran wrap he left on his lawn earlier is suddenly swept up 100 feet into the air by an updraft intense enough to make my ears pop. Oh, Barango's here, the story, yes. It's a fun one. And 2 days from 4th of July feels like a fitting warning slash... what is it? What is it called? Schadenfreude, that's it. That's the term for enjoying someone else's suffering. Yes, by notice, they refer to industrial saran wrap flying up rapidly, and by pickup, they mean I look up to see the sky has turned a fun and exciting shade of glass green, and the bottoms of the clouds are bumpy and rounded. The overall effect is not unlike looking up through the bottom of the cup at God's matcha boba tea. For those of you who do not live in places with inclement weather, both those words capitalized, these conditions mean you have about 30 seconds before a major meteorological event occurs. I move under the eaves. Hang on, Dorothy, I say, nose filling with petrichor. The show's about to be cancelled. Oh, that doesn't matter, she cheerfully informs me. It's illegal for him just to possess those, no matter if he actually gets to set them off or not. Terrific, because he's got maybe 5 boxes out of 100 inside. Sometimes, the weather gods are merciful and give you a verbal warning, typically in the kind of thunderclap that makes your ears ring. The gods were not merciful today. It's not often that I'm in the time, place, correct angle, or in proper observational frame of mind to see this. But I got to see it today. Huh, I thought. I've never seen a cloud just dive for the ground before. Oh, I realized as it got closer. That's rain. Sometimes a thunderstorm will form in such a way that the rain that would normally be distributed over an area of, say, 5 to 10 square miles is instead concentrated into an area of, say, my neighborhood exactly. So today, I was granted the rare privilege of being able to actually see the literal wall of water descend from on high and directly onto my porch, my street, my neighbor's truck, and his pile of unwrapped fireworks. The sheer impact force of the downpour immediately scatters the teetering pile of fireworks boxes in the back of the truck, like the wrath of God striking down the Tower of Babel. Boxes tumble, then are washed out of the bed of the truck by the deluge. Smaller boxes are carried down the road in a little line by the stream forming in the gutter, like little impotent explosive ducklings. My neighbor was definitely yelling something, but I could not hear what over the deafening noise of several million gallons of water makes upon high-speed contact with the Earth's surface. But there's a lot of arm waving and faces turning red as he went looking for the saran wrap that was probably blown to Kansas by now, while his wife started disassembling the complex, three-dimensional puzzle of interlocked material goods in search of a tarp. They do not have a tarp. What they do have is one of those wretched thin blue line flags, though, and my neighbor jogs out in a futile effort to cover what's left in the truck. Which is when the hail begins. "Hello?" yelled Dorothy. "Hi," I shouted. "We're having some weather." "Oh, good," she shouts back over the phone. "We needed the moisture." I watched for a minute longer, but the loss was immediate and catastrophic. The hail is the size of marbles and dense, and cares not for your pitiful cardboard and cellophane, ripping the boxes asunder and punching holes in the few things covered in plastic. The colors on the thin blue line flag are seeping all over the remains of that it was supposed to protect, in a particularly apt visual metaphor. Not even the few boxes that made it into the garage are spared, as the German Shepherd escapes from indoors and in an attempt to assist her humans jumps directly into the small stack of not yet ruined boxes, scattering them into the driveway and deluge. She even picks one up so her humans will chase her around the yard before dropping it in the gutter to be swept away. So, I was raised agnostic, but even I can recognize when God slaps someone upside the head and shouts no at them. It's such a fun story, and their way of words is very much worth looking up the various other stories they have. Especially those that they tag with Herschel the Hanukkah Goblin, referring to their corgi named Herschel. But I mention the story mostly because they reblogged it in preparation for this coming 4th of July, but also with the message, well, despite being told off by God and then fined to hell in 2023, and missing last year due to being in the hospital with, air quotes, the flu, my pyrotechnically inclined neighbor seems determined to double down, and also gotten his illicit wildfire-started devices early this year, as this afternoon's dog walk by his garage revealed 2 pallets of fireworks. So I hope to hear an update after the 4th of either the amount of fines getting slapped across this guy's ass, or potentially his own house burning down because he stored them in a garage with that much shit in it. Bringo, you are calling correctly, you are from the Midwest. I currently live in... I can't remember how the distinction is different from the central U.S. or Midwest, but I'm definitely very central. It's definitely one of the areas that is the worst hit by that heat dome that is thankfully starting to kind of die off some, because good lord, I was tired of condensation on even just colder than room temperature drinks. Ugh. But yeah, also, the link for that story, which we're just going to pin for about 5 minutes, for those of you who maybe came in the middle of the story. Because it is a fun read, and like I said, they have several other stories available for free on their Tumblr that are great fun to read. With that, I can go ahead and turn this. We know as well as you do why the sky being green is not a good sign. Well, not personally, but I am familiar with the dangers of shit like tornadoes and such, yes. I lived in Texas for a good number of years to hear it secondhand, but also in the distance sometimes, not actually hitting me. And from a distance is the best way to go through any kind of tornado situation. But yeah, with that being said, and hopefully having bought time for everyone who wanted to catch this second part of The Devil, we're going to do a quick rundown of everyone in the little profile section, just as a little refresher for those who maybe aren't so great with names like me. Here's Morgan, the character we are playing as. The occupation is a criminal defense attorney. London was the more veteran detective who we had to work with. Homicide, first class. And he is very tired voice, is the way he was described. Reyes being the other homicide detective in this case, third class. And, in her history. She also has a cybernetic eye, which I'm not sure if it's just a visual metaphor or if she actually creates illusions to look at the files through that receptacle. But it definitely glows every time she pulls up some info. Cargo, bombs in the Midwest, have storm onto some, so yeah. Absolutely. It's a shit show. And also our client was flat. Missed one arm. Something that they did not lose in an accident, but they had willingly given up for a cybernetic to help them with their work. Something strong, but also dexterous, and currently in the shop. But he is innocent of killing his girlfriend and must, figure out how to survive without her. Not that she was, taking care of him, but, well, for one, he got no closure. The last time he spoke to her, they were in an argument and he stormed off. But also never truly knowing whether her killer will be brought to justice. Which, to some degree, will probably haunt him for a good amount of time. And lastly, Heartbreak. Specifically, the Heartbreak Killer, who he was almost accused of being. Well, that's them. Supposedly. Let's see. Occupation, criminal, likes killing, dislikes getting caught. Who knew? Their favorite color is probably red. Zodiac sign is probably not into astrology, which, mood. The reward suspended due to an influx of false reports. That's all we have on them. Except for, literally seconds before this scene. Morgan, through narration, reveals that she is Heartbreak. And she just really enjoyed seeing she likened it to a blooming rose of blood from the bullet hole. Which I can understand. I don't see it myself, but I can understand how someone could see that, could compare the two. Bullet number 6 of 6. This gun's empty. Yeet! It's useless to me now. May as well leave it. Feels like a waste, but whatever. Finding the ammo was almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. But yeah, what's that? A profile updated. Heartbreak? Well, now we know their date of birth, their height, their blood type, their occupation, criminal, defense attorney. Yeah. Oh, and actually, this is something I found out when I was doing the read-through later to see how much detail they went into for this. There's no pupil in her eyes, it's just void of black. As opposed to the Morgan profile, there is light in these eyes at least, and she's got a joyful look on her face. So yeah, there's some depths there. Yeah, finding the ammo was almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. I could sell an untagged gun for a fair bit of cash, but cash can't buy you peace of mind. Oh, don't look so surprised, lady. Moping around in the dark in here, must have only been able to see my silhouette. Did she think I was her boyfriend? Back for an encore of that enthralling conversation. Can't ask her now. Hey. Do you hear that? These old pieces are so goddamn loud. And people aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know to run the other way. Probably roused half the neighborhood. But I didn't see anything I could use as even a partial suppressor on the way in. Could they really not afford some throw pillows? I'll use the other 5 bullets in outdoor spaces, small spheres of blind opportunity that the city's eyes couldn't think to pierce. Cramped places, usually full of trash. But this room, as cheap as it looks, is at least clean. Organized, even. So the corpse adds a certain satisfying contrast. Except... there's shit on the floor. By the window, there are broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. It's fine. It's just one thing out of place. Actually, it's not fine. It's actually really irritating. Kick over the stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes, each of them. Not a speck of evidence, nothing to go on. And for the final shot, there just has to be some pile of shit in the corner ruining everything. Kick the wall. Something falls from it. Probably more tasteless bullshit. Toss over the chair, knock the urn. Tear into the sheets of my frustration, try to savor the shredding. If it can't be clean, I'll just have to lean into the messy angle. At least it will be consistent. This was also stupid. Honestly, I'm not the ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself on my humility. Now, was it satisfying when the first 3 went down with single shots? Yes. But so what? I'm not made of stone. After that, I did start to actively aim for the heart, but... ugh. Heartbreak Killer? Really? Don't people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable, lifeless voyeurs would obsess over something that's none of their business? All the threads and breakdowns, the goddamn theory crafting, and all for the Heartbreak Killer. Sounds like a soap opera villain from a season where the writers were on strike. I feel insulted by the label, but no, that's someone else's name. They came up with it. They spread it. They marketed it. Heartbreak's got nothing to do with me. He's just some reclusive, lonely, socially impotent loser who shot 6 people because... well, I'm sure people will come up with something. That he got rejected one too many times, or whatever. Me, I killed those people because I saw them, and I wanted to. And I've killed a lot more than just 6. At least the room is thoroughly trashed now. If I had just walked away after seeing that mess by the window, it would have irritated me to no end. Now that doesn't match the MO of the last 5 perfectly. It'll irritate the cops to no end instead. Good riddance, Heartbreak. You enjoy your 15 minutes in the spotlight. Really savor it. I'm going home. The air's weighty tonight. Thick, energized. A heavily foreshadowed summer rain I can feel on every hair. They call this kind of humidity oppressive, but I disagree. The warm tension on your skin, like in those short moments just after the shower turns off when the steam lingers. Yeah, it's always most comfortable right afterwards. Maybe there's no disagreement to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting too. Only the guilty ones run. I don't know about that. But I know I've never felt guilty about any of this. I gotta say, these rapid changes in topics, just how the weather feels, jumping over to what it's like getting out of just a shower, to suddenly just wonder if they should feel guilty, shit like that. It's like, wow, this feels very me, very autistic. Brain just not wired the same as everyone seems to expect. And I walk away. Minutes later, June 5th, 2086. Sorry, using my left to still. That's okay. You can just initial in these spots. I took a scenic route home, courtesy of our fine city's sprawling public transportation. Got in a bit after 11 p.m. Had myself a thorough shower, drank a glass of milk, did some stretching. Made sure my phone was on. Time went by evenly. Around 1:40 a.m., a posting for public defender work came up. Decent rate, since it was so late and so urgent. I had wagered correctly that the boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer, and enough debt that he'd need to be provided one. All I had to do was stay awake. There wasn't much competition after 1 in the morning. Where else? Here and here. How did I phrase it earlier? Criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. Why wouldn't I take on a job where I already knew more than the cops? It would have been easy to convince Carlos to plead out. I would have gotten paid the same too. But easy is dangerous. Carlos was, of course, innocent, so his conviction would never be airtight. There would be doubts, questions, appeals, maybe even fans, depending on his looks. More attention on HK and his crimes. More headaches. A cold case rotting in the very far back of the public's awareness is always preferable to one open and shut in haste. Now, with no more murders matching HK's MO, there won't be any additional public pressure to find a culprit. Now Heartbreak can just starve to death, out of sight and mind, like any other fluke in the system. Almost done. Getting involved with a case this intimately does have its risks. Hell, I might have even overdone things here or there, like lighting up a smoke inside an interrogation room, just to make doubly sure I didn't still smell of gunpowder myself. That London fellow seemed more fixated on it than I would have liked. But obviously, everything turned out rosy. And it's worth it for the finality of it all. Seeing the authorities' failings from the best seat in the house, that's just a bonus. Thanks again, Morgan, for everything. I'm sure Diane is grateful too. Enjoy your lurk, Marengo. It's funny. I didn't even know her name. Something the matter? No. sorry. It's just... I was mad when I left the apartment. I know she was too. So when she died... Death was instantaneous, Carlos. I can't imagine that she was in any pain. In fact, I can guarantee she was dead before she hit the ground. No, I know, but... I just keep thinking that she must have died angry at me. That she must have died hating me. To tell you the truth, Carlos, there's something I've been wondering about myself. What is it? Something I noticed in the ARC's data that I didn't quite understand. A piece of the puzzle I couldn't fit in anywhere else. But maybe you can make sense of it. Meds for a martyr. Non-lethal doses present. What is that? Where did you find that? That pill organizer was found on the victim. She had a grasp in her hand when she died. Obviously, the police added it to the ARCs, but it was quickly ruled irrelevant. Seems like it contained triprexazone, prescribed to help martyrs with phantom itches. They're small tablets. Those are tricky clasps, too, for a pill organizer. Could be hard to handle with an unsteady hand. No one will ever know what she was feeling when she died. Even if they did, feelings are complicated. You can feel angry, happy, and sad all at the same time. But as far as facts are concerned, it would appear that when she died, what she was doing was setting out your medications for the week. To my eyes, anyway. There we go. Case solved. We have let him go on his merry way home. It is still very, very early in the morning. Jesus F. Christ. Time for a sip, at least. Long night. That was too far just now. Practically rubbing it in his face. It's not like I care about his feelings, so I doubt I'll ever even see him again. But overstepping like that is pure hubris. And hubris invites a downfall. So why? Why did I even bother? It was the last piece of the puzzle, I suppose. I'll just need to show more restraint next time. Though there won't be a next time for Heartbreak. The gun is in custody. There's no more bullets left. There won't be a seventh victim. There won't be any more leads to pursue. Media will move on to their next obsession. I'll move on to my next MO. And no one will ever found you. District Attorney Rockford. That's not intimidating in the least. Sorry, can I try that again? I'm so fried. By all means. Counselor Morgan, morning, noon, or night, you're always so put together. Thank you. I don't get it. How do you even sleep at night? Pardon? You do white noise? Aromatherapy? Whatever you're doing, I need to seal it. God. I must have bags under my eyes dark enough for the dumpsters. Assistant District Attorney Emma Rockford, who's making me yawn out of sympathy. Ugh. And also big fucking... She's a fucking avatar of flesh. Are we talking about the district attorney, or is this a reference to something you're working on right now while you're lurking? Like, just to make the, make everything clear. Let's see, do we... we don't have a profile for her yet. Non-sequitur? Okay, just making sure. Because I would not have described her as an avatar of flesh. Definitely big, a little big boned, at least around the hips. And definitely feeling a lot more realistic than some women in games. But yeah. Assistant District Attorney Emma Rockford. She's a prosecutor. The lawyer who argues for the state in court, trying to prove a defendant's guilt. And despite her sometimes unkempt appearance, she's probably the sharpest person to fill the position in decades. Oh no, I know that has nothing to do with you meant. It's just in the context, like, if you had meant to refer to her as, like, an avatar of flesh sounds like you're saying someone is very large and in charge, in a potentially rude way. Which is largely why I asked for a clarification, because she's bigger than a supermodel, but not that much. More along the lines of John Carpenter's Thank You. Yeah, that would be the other end of the spectrum. Hence why clarification was definitely needed, because she's definitely not some eldritch monstrosity mixed with a mad science invention. Let's see, I should know, since I haven't beaten her once. Worse yet, she has the remarkable ability to compartmentalize all that adversarial energy and only bring it out in the courtroom. It's part of what makes her good at her job, and it's also far more what makes the interactions between Morgan and her seem like some toxic Yuri romance shit, which I'm all for. Jack's short story you're reading is after? Gotcha. No problem. But yeah. Who doesn't love some good toxic Yuri, that... I'm not going to say more. I'm going to say parallels Death Note's Light Yagami and L. Fucking one chasing the other. Though... if she is good at her job, I'm going to assume she's not onto Morgan early on, just looking for proof. That would be a little too much of a parallel. See, and it makes it hard for me to read her. Should I buy a new mattress? What have they got you doing at this ungodly hour, Emma? Now we have her profile. Miss Rockford. Ooh, February 13th. Her birthday's the day before mine. I think that's also my blood type, actually. I think O positive is the universal giver, but not the universal receiver. Anyway, she likes coffee, toffee, and haute couture, however it's pronounced. Dislikes sunburn, dead pixels, and eye strain. You know what? Fair on all of those. She likes her eggs Benedict. She plays chess, shogi, and Idols Savant Stars. One sec, I gotta do a quick perusal if that's an actual game or something they made up. Because it sounds... not realistic. It sounds believable. Savant Stars. It's not, though... the search engine also tried to autocorrect it to an Indian singer named Abhijit Sawant. Interesting. Anyway, not on topic, so we're just going to remove that window. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It does sound like a fictional gotcha. Oh, and apparently she's a cat person. Nice. Actually, wait a second. Why do they even bother having a weight thing in here? Okay, he's got it, but not Morgan Rockford. What about Reyes? So it's not just like a gender thing where they're just not going to show female characters' weight. Huh. That's weird. Anyway. What have they got you doing at this ungodly hour, Emma? Oh, well... actually, I'm here for you. Me. Your client was a suspect in the Heartbreak killings. That's my case. The glint of the eyeglasses was very nice. Well, then you must have been relieved finding out that you won't have to go to trial against me. No? Why would I be worried about going up against you? Oof. It's always the unintended barbs with her. So you're working with those detectives? Yeah, London the new girl. Reyes. They've been reporting to me in preparation for trial. Preparation for trial? That seems ambitious. I guess they gave you the rundown. They've been doing everything they can, but it's hard to catch a killer who leaves behind so little. It's hard to kill while leaving so little behind. So Reyes told you they had HK in custody and you popped out of bed all excited to run down here? Hardly. I haven't slept in 40 hours. I wonder, like she's proud of that. Which I guess, from the perspective of someone currently going without sleep for the last 40 hours, probably feels like something to be proud of. You don't realize the regret until you finally get some good sleep again. Oh shit, I was a mess. What the fuck was I doing? Too much on my mind. So when I heard about a case with a single female victim shot through the heart, yeah, my ears perked up. But that's about all. Oh? I mean, Carlos Flat, a serial killer? The same serial killer that's outsmarted the state for weeks. She's not using his middle name. He was found with a murder weapon, but I can answer that any number of ways. I'm not sure what our goal is here. And I don't think any of these are wrong answers, but it might make us look dumb and lose some of our social credit. I'm going to go with the photo because that's what proved it was not him. That may be true, but then I glanced at the report. You glanced at it? No gunpowder residue on him or his clothes. Right. Too remorseful, too apologetic in that note. Whatever it was about his dominant arm modded with documented sensitivity issues. Never could have made shots that clean. Not without getting close enough to leave scorch marks. Not to mention, he's too tall for the ballistics entry angles. And probably too heavy to not leave imprints. 1 second. Morgan is 175. That 189. I mean, he is taller than us. Not. It doesn't feel significantly, though. But maybe it's just because I was raised on inches and feet rather than centimeters and meters. As for weight, that's something we're not allowed to know, even though we're playing Morgan, so whatever. She got all that from a glance? But I'm sure a competent lawyer like yourself pointed all that out the minute you walked in here. Of course. Worst part is she's not even being sarcastic. Yeah, of course it couldn't have been him. Long-term relationship. Physically imposing. Argumentative, so not the type to bottle things up. At least 3 inches taller, yeah. Which really doesn't feel like a lot. Because if you're getting away with serial killing and trying to leave as little trace as possible, it's not beyond the realm of possibility that you would intentionally stoop to alter the supposed angle of entry. He didn't match the profile of a killer. Profile? Yeah, Right, sorry, you've probably never heard of it. I know what a goddamn profile is. profile is a reconstruction of a criminal's psychology based on evidence from their crimes. Kind of fallen out of fashion for the last few decades. Not much you need to guess about the why when 99 times out of 100 the who is caught on camera. Or before they even leave the house. I've had to find some real fossils and oddballs to get advice on how to go about it. But I think I'm getting the hang of it. That's a new term. What was the term? The profiling bit, okay. Not important. I get the gist of profiling, what it means. It's not a setting-specific thing. So, we'll be able to ask both of these. So, we'll go with the logical thing of what's profiling. So, this profiling. Some kind of investigative technique? The theory is that a crime can tell you something about the nature of the person who committed it. Stabbing, overkill, points to passion, rage, lust. They probably knew their victim. Poison and guns, meanwhile, suggest they can't overpower their victims physically. And then there's the things you can't assume about nearly all serial offenders. Childhood trauma, prior criminal record, few or no meaningful attachments. There's a lot of recurring themes in their stories. The detectives say HK doesn't leave evidence. So how much can his crimes possibly tell you? That he's diligent. Almost perfect. Highly intelligent, painstakingly organized, and with enough criminal connections to get his hands on an untagged firearm. It's rare to see her this animated outside the courtroom. It's almost like she's enjoying herself. A little sad if true. A sheltered house cat who's picked up the scent of a mouse for the first time. A lone wolf, educated, but all her playfully lethal instincts coming to life. Probably overqualified or undervalued. Oh boy, that's telling for a public defendant, as skilled as we are. No, I'm not thrilled about the fact that in that metaphor, I would be the... Know what I mean? Definitely have been paying attention. Considering the marksmanship. The detective said that HK would have needed inside information on optics. So does that mean heartbreaks in law enforcement? Never in 10 billion years. Oh. Antisocial, independent, despises authority. That'd be like a stallion applying for a job on a merry-go-round. They'd be kicking kids in the head after the first full rotation. Right, that's exactly how I'd put it. There must be some connection to the police, though. Maybe secondary or tertiary? Yeah, that's an Elden Light domain. Yep, go. I mean, I've been lightly spoiled to how this game is, but, I mean, even knowing that, the spoiler never said that Morgan was the Heartbreak Killer, just a killer. So I thought, oh, okay, she's using her knowledge of being a killer herself to kind of get a read on this dude. It's like, no, she actually did this particular crime. Which is how a good... No, that's the wrong way to phrase it. That's how good writing works. Even if you know the ending, you might see details that you just wouldn't have caught the first time. I haven't even seen the show, but I know it when you see it. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of AMVs that... I think you and I are roughly the same generation, and there's a lot of fucking AMVs. And fics, and other such stuff. Especially about a show as big as Death Note got. See, these types can't help but insert themselves. Assert themselves, perhaps. This isn't SpongeBob. Insert themselves? I do not I don't do anything even resembling that. Wait, HK's not a cop. How do they know about the blackout timing? Crime metastatistics analysis. Probably. Pardon. Take the emergency response times from across the city and map them out. Look for brief spikes and delays, chart out the dips, and... Sorry. Technical, I know. But all the requisite data is publicly available. With a map, a spreadsheet, a calculator. Anyone could reverse engineer the timing if they wanted to. That is such an unpleasant thought, Emma. And Heartbreak's MO. I mean, at least this Heartbreak maniac will slow down now that he's lost his weapon. He didn't lose it. He chose to leave it behind. That tells me he's confident he can do just fine without it. And it just makes me even more certain that these aren't his only kills. Were there other shootings with the same MO? No, not that I found. Other victims that fit the description? No. But I'm not overly focused on the victim's appearance anyway. I mean, these 6 victims all look like each other, but they also look like a lot of people. That's actually fair, because the only description I really remember is female, brown hair, brown eyes, which I know last part I pointed out Detective Reyes fit that profile, but also technically Emma here does here as well. Even if her eyes are supposed to just be a lighter variant of red, it's still very much brown on brown palette. That's true. Hell, they kind of... Yep, called it. Oh, wait. This is one aspect of the light L dynamic that did not happen, specifically killing people who reminded you of the fandom's favorite choice of shipping material. Do they? Sure. What, you don't see it? I hadn't thought about it. Point is, no one can kill that cleanly when it's their first time. Getting things that perfect takes practice. So I know that HK must have had a lot more than 6 occasions of practice, Morgan. And that's why I think Heartbreak is a misnomer. You've got something catchier in mind? I just don't think shooting them in the heart has any particular significance. If anything, it's a testament to their accuracy and their cold-blooded efficiency. The best possible use of 6 untagged bullets. 6 kills guaranteed, no matter what kind of life support mods they were packing. Their real signature isn't the bullets or the gun. It's the perfection. That's hard to wrap your head around. I'm saying that these 6 murders were just a fluke, a slip-up, a mistake. Exactly, a mistake. They got too clean, too efficient. Now they've got the public's attention. It's no wonder they're so pissed. Are you talking about the crime scene? Yeah, probably threw the detectives for a loop, right? Based on what you said, I don't blame them. Whoever trashed that room doesn't seem like the smooth operator you've been describing. On the contrary. I don't follow. This was the last bullet. Their last shot. The other 5 were perfect. So if anything was out of place this time around, they must have thrown one hell of a temper tantrum. You make them sound like a child. Childish. And cowardly. And two-faced. Someone who hates to lose almost as much as they love to win. Your profile tell you all that? No. That part's just... takes one to know one. So, to summarize, she's read me for rights. She's psychoanalyzed me to every exact degree, including that which we did not know ourselves. Because it's true, we even started the stream right at the point after the murder, taking it all in, noticing just one thing out of place, and throwing a hissy fit, breaking shit all over the room. And then only after doing so realizing, well, this is gonna fuck with the cops a little bit. They can have fun. So, yeah. looking for a cold-blooded, faceless, perfectionist killer who you think has no persistent MO or victim type. In a city with an 8-digit population, well, good luck. I don't need luck. I only need more information. Well, I'm sure the city would be happy to provide you with more resources. No, Morgan, I need more crime scenes. Oh. Sad truth is, if Heartbreak walked away today, I'd never catch them. Only way my net narrows is if they keep piling up bodies. Not a very fair trade, is it? No, it isn't. But getting screwed over is a given. It's a deal with the devil. Roll credits. Fair enough. Oof. Okay, that was pretty morbid. And detailed. I need to get out more. Or sleep more. Or sleep less, but harder. Do you think a higher thread count would help? Don't worry about it. I'm always happy to listen to your ramble, and I am assuming we're walking away with the way our avatar just dissolved. It's a lot more pleasant than having to face you in the courtroom. Sorry, but that's the adversarial process. So no hard feelings, yeah? No hard feelings. We're both just doing what we do. I could use a cup of coffee. How about you? Don't tempt me. If you fall asleep face first on the table, I won't even take a picture. Okay. Just don't expect this to make a difference next time we're at each other's throats. Heartbreak won't claim any more victims. In 2 weeks, the media will have moved on to the next sensation. And the police will have moved on to cases they actually stand a chance of closing. It's what people do. But Emma is different. She'll set it aside and work a dozen other cases, never bring it up. But a private corner of that frustratingly sharp mind of hers will continue to whittle away at it. Never finishing, but never quitting either. So I can't afford to take my eyes off of her. As long as that's the case, I may as well try to enjoy the view. Yes, this too is Yuri. That is the end of episode 0. But thankfully, even before last stream, just in case the parts were too short, I already have part 1. Oh boy, ow. This is a cutie, of sorts. Which means you're going to be living with my friend for a while. For how long? I'm sorry. I don't know. Thank you for the chill. Okay. There's no need to look that upset over it. Living in my friend? Wait, did I use the wrong word? One sec. There's... what was it? Is it L to look for past text? Yes. Okay. Look, my yawns were not completely faked, just for the sake of sounding more like Emma, the tired defense attorney. Or, sorry, prosecutor. There's no need to look that upset over it. My face barely moved. It may as well have been a blatant pout from where I'm sitting. Yeah, like that. This friend of yours, they're trustworthy? Absolutely. In fact, I trust them more than anyone. Hey, come on. It'll be fun. educational, too. I think you could stand to learn a lot from someone like Morgan. Yes. Oh, these are just the credits of part 1. Sorry, part 0. I'm just going to click through it so we can get to actual part 1. But these are all the people who were involved with it. A lot of special tanks. Made with Unity, No Nanny Novel, okay. Do Tween, Pro Builder, Shapes, Game by Nth Circle. Of the Devil, and he shall appear. To be continued in part 1. You're the smartest person I know, Morgan, when it comes to people. Personally, I think it's cruel to bring something that flawed into the world. A criminal defense attorney, and we're at a crime scene. I think I can guess what happens next. I've never stolen anything. That wasn't already compromised. Work hard, and the company will have you set for life. And after, too. Can't tell you how many musicians I've seen screwed over by a big smile and a fat signing bonus. So that's not just a lawyer job thing? You dress like a doorman on the weekends, too? Oh, ouch. Compared to determining fault, determining cause of death is like a breath of fresh air. The company wheels don't stop spinning for anything. We can't hope to keep this quiet for very long. But it's 1,000,000 times more likely than the alternative. That Heartbreak could ever stop themselves from killing. Father said that you owed him. I don't do anything out of the goodness of my heart. But when I take a job, I never half-ass it. Alright. An idle mind is the devil's plaything. Please let me click to the next part. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Ooh, the results of episode 1. We got 2 articles, all 6 profiles, all 18 key terms, 17 pieces of evidence, and total of 35 credit earned. Congrats! You've finished episode 0 with 35 credit. You've also unlocked concept art and bonus scenarios based on your highest score, which is episode 0. 35 remaining credit spent on phone charms and case colors based on highest credit. Now I'll look at those off stream, because those aren't our main things. So let's start episode 1. We're going to start with the customization options, which... Wait, can we not do it right now? Damn it. Okay. Oh, because we can choose our setting. High roller mode. High roller mode, you're limited to 1 save slot. You won't be able to reload your saves while inside the courtroom. Quick saving and auto saves will be disabled as well. The minimum ante for hands will be increased. The minimum maximum penalties for answering incorrectly during trial gameplay will be increased. But the maximum ante will be increased as well, allowing you to earn the largest possible high score for credit in this episode. Completing this episode in high roller mode will also unlock an exclusive phone charm that can't be earned any other way. You can turn off high roller mode off at any time in settings, but won't turn it back on. You have to restart this episode. High roller mode is intended to encourage risk-taking and discourage save scumming. Consider enabling it if you want to pursue this mystery like a true gambler. I am not, because I am dumb as fuck. I do like this card. We're gonna go... Yep. The Perfectionist. Play like a real gambler. Actually, I do like the appearance here. I'm assuming this version of the card, they're supposed to both be like Justice. Justice is blind. Instead of scales, each one represents a different half. But we're going to go standard because we're going for entertainment, not doing our best. Some tutorials, we are going to keep them on. In part for the audience, in part because, like I said, I am dumb. Listen, I wanted to thank you for coming over. anyone could tell something's bothering you, you're the first person to say anything. What happened? The police came to see me. In public? No. They wanted to be considerate of my privacy. That's a first. They wanted to talk to me about the other week. About my whereabouts. And yours. I told them I didn't know anything. They must have loved that. Funny. What would you have done? In your shoes? Probably curse them out. Yeah, I could see that. Is there anything you want to ask me? No. Not even for a favor in return? No favors lost between friends, I say. That sounds like a toast. Why not? To friends. I'll raise a glass to that. Glass 'em! Vandalism detected. Incident logged. Recorded at 8:55 a.m. local time. Geopositional data encoded. If I could have all citizens in the area. Fuck off, copper! Visuals impaired. Facial recognition compromised. Pinging nearby opt-ins for corroborating evidence. Hey! He's lighting up every phone on the block. We need to go. Now! Or what? He'll use his outdoor voice. Shut the fuck up, phone. I'm gonna mute you. There we go. Sound muted. Or he'll have us pinned down to our dental records before you can say we are Morning, Officer Leo. You look different today. Alright, let's take a look here. L30. Let's see, they've got barcodes both next to officer and here on the side. Considering the fact these are curved, that seems like a poor choice of design. Chest, I mean, it's going to be a little curved, but not as much, but eh. Also, it bothers me that officer is over here. Police is huge. Then we have Leo. If you wanted to make these, like, actually identifiable, especially by cameras, I'm calling bullshit that Cyberpunk Future has, like, actual zoom and enhance capabilities. You would have, like, the actual tag for this unit larger than police. Because their shape, their color scheme should be what sells that. And you want people to be able to go, yeah, no, they must have been malfunctioning or something. Which one? This one. But whatever, let's see, we're on this well street. We've got what looks like bags of trash over here, which is both neat and orderly, considering it's right next to minimum 2-lane, possibly 4. Who knows how these future streets are supposed to be set up. Hard light barriers, or at least an illusion to help keep people from walking through. These probably are hard light, though, because kids can fall. We've got gently swinging light, or it's something just floating around. I like it. Very, very good setting the scene. You do something new with your uniform, Leo. Good morning to you, too. Morgan, citizen. To answer your question, no, I have not undergone any recent retrofitting. If you'd like a more detailed record of my maintenance history, you can make a request for... I've got it. Must be the new coat of paint. You're referring to the act of vandalization that just took place. Only the most recent one. Super cop over here has a new dent every time I see him. Scars honorably earned in the line of duty. Scanning the street for jaywalkers and loiterers. Don't worry, ma'am. A report has been filed, and the police are working to resolve the situation. Civil disobedience at this time of day? What's the world coming to? They're just stragglers, ma'am. There was a period of unrest in the area last night. Unlicensed protesting and demonstrating without a permit. Oh yeah, that's dystopian, all right. Requiring any sort of permit for protesting. Specific forms, sure. But, like, in general, should not be a requirement. Well, I hope you threw the book at them. The disturbance was handled, but individual instances of volatility may occur during the next 48 hours, as we work to apprehend outside actors. Thanks for the forecast. So does bleeding stop on its own, or androids don't have blood? Man, this is just a leakage of oxidizing fluid. My mistake. So you don't need a bandage, I take it? The leakage will dry shortly. That conversation thoroughly exhausted, I let my mind wander as I wait for the signal to cross. I unfocus my eyes and dull my hearing, sinking beneath the hum of the city street, fading through the lives bustling around me like so much seafoam. I mean, I wouldn't say this is a seafoam green, because that's what it is. Seafoam's got just a little touch of green in it. This blue is being used poetically, or maybe as a reference to something. Because I know the android that we saw in the preview at the end of episode 1 has got some very Pinocchio-like aspects. Again, a spoiler I came across, but if you're going to pull inspiration for Pinocchio for Android, which is not uncommon, why seafoam? Because I only think of, like, the first version of The Little Mermaid where she turns into foam because she doesn't have a soul or something. Across the way, a large man with worn hands and ill-fitting belt turns to a gorilla-like hulk of a machine, cuffs his hands in front of his mouth. Yo, 61! The machine halts its lifting with uncanny precision and turns to him. We're going on break. The robot tilts its head to the side. You can't work the piler without Schwinn up on the roof, so I don't know. Take a load off, will ya? Understood, came the over-enunciated reply. The man already walking away tosses a dismissive wave behind him. Yeah, understood. A moment after the man turns the corner, the robot attempts to mimic the hand wave to no one in particular. Goddamn coppers on every street corner. I'm a little surprised that needs to pop up in terms. I thought coppers as slang for a cop was a fairly common thing. Fuck. Like, even kid shows will use that sometimes. At a bus stop, or what used to be a bus stop, now a charging station, a passionate young man voices his democratic opinion loud enough for the whole street to hear. They declare martial law when I wasn't looking. The small woman beside him, trying hard to appear even smaller, shifts in her seat. Well, they're just doing their job, so... Bots don't have jobs, except the ones they stole from us. Notice how they don't patrol nearly so heavy in Uptown, even on the worst days. His audience, captive by virtue of sharing the same charging pool as him, shuffles, coughs, and stares even harder at their phones. The classic pattern of I'm not with him. If you're going to arrest him, do not include me in that. The woman looks at her knees and pulls at her shirt. You're kind of embarrassing me right now. He makes a vague gesture with his hand to indicate he stepped off his soapbox, and the shoulders of everyone around him relax a centimeter. Oh, now that's just... A woman with exhaustion in her eyes sighs at a hologram floating above her chrome-plated palm. That might be something interesting. Okay, some terms. Mods, No. Something got updated here. What was it? It's not this about above the neck. Suppression. Nope. Well, I'm not sure what got updated. Oh, unless it just starts over from the beginning at this chapter. It doesn't carry over from chapter 0, perhaps. While a rounded, smooth-looking android pushes a carriage behind her. Ellen, walk her around the block. Get her some air, would you? Apparently this call can't wait. It's louder than a garbage disposal out here. Of course, ma'am. I'd be glad to. The android punctuates its sentence with a sound halfway between a whir and a purr, which, judging by the coos and giggles coming from the child, seems to have been well received. Robots, holograms, androids, drones, coppers, if you prefer. Can't so much as sneeze in the city without a dozen different ads offering you a handkerchief. There's a vocal minority that think they're the downfall of civilization, but for everyone else, you're too kind, ma'am. Thank you for your concern. It's hard to hate them when they're so eager to please. Crosswalk's giving me the okay. Keep us safe, yeah? Have a good day. Morgan, Citizen. It's a bright, crisp morning in the city. Lights changing, and people moving in click-clacking harmony, all smooth as clockwork. Were I in a worse mood, it would all be a bit much. But I went out last night. Cause of death. Oh, man, I want to actually read all that. So I'm feeling pretty refreshed this morning. As I reach the other end of the street, I pivot lightly and give Automated Dependent Assistant Officer L30 my best impression of a salute. Thank you for your service. And, of course, he creaks out a mirrored response. No sense of sarcasm, the poor bastards. But I didn't come all this way downtown to poke fun at the only happily employed class in human history. Actually, before we continue this, just a little side note, I think one of the funner definitions of something having, I'm thinking on a better term for this, but sapient level intelligence is the ability to use sarcasm, to use words in a non-literal fashion. I don't think it's the best one, but certainly the funnest. It definitely gives more personality to a thing if it's able to intentionally pun or sarcastically say something as opposed to being programmed to do it at certain times. So, no, I came down here to make an important purchase. Today, I'm going to buy a gun. What a start to episode 1. LQ Retail. A bunch of different guns. AS-69, Rug 381, Sub 20, SS-35A, and as well as the B. No staff around? But all the lights are on. Should I have knocked? Ah, I see. Sub Desk personality setting 6. The cool one. Let me know if I can help you with anything. I've probably forgotten more about firearms than you're programmed to remember. I bet you can. I recently acquired a license to carry concealed. Nice. Are you in law enforcement? Do you shoot for sport? Business or pleasure? Neither. May I ask why you're looking to carry concealed, ma'am? Oh, you know. Assault with a deadly weapon, cruel intent, that kind of thing. Some of my clients live in very rough neighborhoods. Even in broad daylight, coming down to the lower wards for house visits can be... I see. You're a lawyer. So I guess you'd say I'm in the market for self-defense. We have a wide selection of options for self-defense in a variety of sizes and calibers, with spread and PA fire options available. My bad. PA stands for pseudo-automatic. I know. But for concealed, it'd have to be, to at least be small enough to... This would go a lot faster if I just tell the desk what I want. We're going to be patient, because if there's any recording of this, we would look too knowledgeable. Walking in here and asking for a very specific model is gun nut behavior. I'm not trying to stand out. Some of the ones I test fired at the range left my shoulders lower for days. Do you have anything more discreet? Right, no problem. Electromagnetic pulse models feature minimal kickback with the highest accuracy. One targeted pulse of electricity can disable attackers at medium to short range, non-lethally and quietly. Sure, they're plenty quiet. But they also have piss-poor range and even sustained fire, won't do shit to any modder with installation less than a few years old. Glorified tasers. Barely suitable as party favorites for anxiety-stricken college kids. Well, hopefully not too quiet. I'd want someone to come running to my rescue. Of course. Would you like to take a look at our mag rails? Bullseye. We're proud to offer a number of models that utilize the latest in miniaturized ultra-capacity batteries to generate a Lorentz force which slinks a slug fast enough to mist a limb at over 30 meters. And it's safe? Of course, ma'am. My bad. 2-factor safeties with GPS and emergency services sync. It won't go off unless you want it to, and someone will definitely come running. All of those convenient safety features make it incredibly easy for the police, or anyone who could dupe their tool set, to lock you out of your own gun with a flip of a switch. You could walk a piece like that down a single uptown street without passing through 9 or 10 no-fire zones. They're the very worst, most useless kind of weapon a criminal could buy. Sounds perfect. How do we get started? So there's a reason for that. So before we continue this, so we've made it clear that we're looking to buy a gun that would be useless in specific areas. I guess to help sell the fact that, 1, we're not well versed in guns, and 2, not an experienced killer. But why would we bother a gun if we couldn't? I guess we still plan to do stuff, or perhaps have even the knowledge to modify this gun in a way that we don't think will come out in the open. Well, we'll see if we learn out anything this episode, this stream. Let's see, mercifully, it's tucked itself away while the fabricators get the gun tagged. I've got time to kill. So is there anything worth checking out around the shop? Well, let's see. We've got that we can check. We've got these to examine. Seeing anything up high? There's something to read. So it looks like just these 3 things. Let's start with reading. Someone left a data pad out here. What's in the news today? Lobo threatens Tetra with ransomware and vulgarity. The internationally wanted terrorist and serial data thief, most commonly known as Lobo, DC is, filing an injunction or whatever to sue the fuck out of him, has seized a cache of vital keystone data files belonging to the Tetra Metallics Group, according to a press release from the mining conglomerate. In a blitz of cross-posts on 90 different socials, translated into all 11 dominant languages, the supposed hacktivist, radical conservationist, and gentleman thief made clear their intent to ransom said files back to their lawful owners at severe cost. I'm not going to overlook the fact that fucking only 11 dominant languages, that's... I hesitate to think about what kind of historical events could have forced that. See, though the posts were quickly flagged and quarantined thanks to user reports, Lobo's latest manifesto, which we have declined to publish here, on grounds of journalistic integrity and due to the strong language contained within, has remained in circulation thanks to a loose network of rogue data harbors, in addition to a sizable monetary ransom. Lobo put out a list of demands that spanned pages. Most prominent among them was a call for de-escalation of all conflicts surrounding rare earth metal deposits around the equator. Sources at Tetra refused to confirm or deny reports that Lobo's capture data impacted only their billing services, but insisted that the corporation could not in good faith resume distribution until the ransom situation was resolved. Market prices for rare earth metals surged following the hacking attack, as supply halted and demand rose, stoked by memories of catastrophic supply chain disruption in the mid-21st century. A spokesperson for Mining is Progress, a lobbying group that will represent the rare earth metal industry, called Lobo's repeated attacks acts of terror against the free market. Oh, there. Looks like you're not logged in. I'll take care of that real quick. I am flipping you off so hard right now. You borderline ad bot. It's right up there. It's like, hey, I've noticed you got an ad blocker on. It's like, yeah, what of it? But okay. Main portion of this article is about a hacker called Lobo taking supposedly vital keystone data files from where's the company? Tetra. From Tetra. Specifically about a rare earth metal around the equator. Okay. Lobo. Again, for someone using their name. Suppose it doesn't matter if they're the original or not, so long as they're a genuine threat. And no one could snare a corporation as rich as Tetra without serious skills. It does seem consistent with Lobo's politics, making demands for I remember part of the plan we're calling for de-escalation, I believe. So we're going to go with that. Yes, okay. We got points for that. Not the first time Lobos voiced their displeasure with the decades-old simmer of conflict around the tropics. But unless the rare earth metals powering all our batteries, fueling all our pretty little androids are suddenly made a lot less rare overnight, I doubt the state will stop taking an interest in those regions' politics anytime soon. Okay, before we continue, we've got a new profile that was not... Oh. He didn't pop up in profile? Where is he then? Search terms? That's not as interesting. Or actually, wait. Dang it. Okay, there we go. There's his credits. What do we want to have? We're not doing the fidget tubbies. Kind of cute as they are, they also kind of creep me out, so we're not doing that. Let's see. Emma Deep in Thought. Actually sounds kind of cute. Yeah, we'll do that. Oh, and it's right there. Okay. That is cute. Let's see. Phone case, we only have 20 left. I don't want to do rose gold. It's kind of eh. Same with red. Teal is too close. Sorry, not close enough to our typical blue in my color palette, so we'll go with magenta. Seems sufficiently neon to me. I like the look. Okay, next we have, where was it? There it is, watching the TV. There's some kind of news program playing on the screen. Most public places are too scared to put on a channel with content more political than the smiling micro-apartment flippers. Wait, why would apartment flippers be a thing? Are people, like, having to straight up buy an apartment instead of rent? That's dystopian as fuck. But this is a gun store, after all. Power's always political. Next is checking this shit. Yeesh. We could clean up a little. Guess the desk kindly asking customers not to litter can only get you so far if you're not willing to pay someone to sweep up. Wait, is this trash? This flyer, it's scannable? Stagnancy theory. Really? They got a lot of self-proclaimed philosophers in here. Okay, I'm going to take a sip before start reading this. A stagnant world, modern man's plateau. Renowned net philosopher Corbin Cawthorne, real name withheld, offers to take you on a deep dive into the global trends and sociological patterns that have driven our planet to the halting point in this groundbreaking and controversial seminar. Moore's Law used to be the benchmark. Now it feels like a pipe dream, and there's a fucking train in the background. Again, my apologies. We used to dream of humanity marching bravely into space, of artisans crafting virtual wonders that made the confines of our own reality seem limited. Instead, our brightest minds spent all their time and effort kicking the can of climate crises down the road, while their more fortunate peers spending their most productive working years in search engine optimization and customer experience design. The middle class, eaten alive by the rich they prop up, can no longer afford the very products they help create. Without mass consumer demand, tech no longer has evolutionary pressures to be as small and powerful as possible. In stagnant waters, only parasites and disease grow aplenty. The only cure comes from you taking action. Okay, so, on the surface, I agree with a lot of this. Stagnancy only allows things to fester and get worse. And I can understand that if mass demand is not what drives product design anymore, tech probably wouldn't be pressured to make continuously smaller but yet more powerful products. At least not on the scale of public consumption. Brightest minds spend all time kicking the can down the road of climate crises. Fair, but I mean, it's also the fact that helping the environment is one of those issues that it's not actually super news-breaking if you succeed. It's a lot easier, at least with the current news cycle that we have. It's a lot more engaging for an audience where it's like, oh, shit's gone horrible. Why isn't anyone doing anything? Such and such companies are responsible. But such and such companies being named are never like the biggest threats. Because the biggest threats have the biggest lawyers. But it's like, yeah, I remember when I was young, like late elementary, early middle school, about helping the ozone layer and the whales and whatnot. And those aren't as big a thing anymore. Like climate change, that's still something, but that's like a broad umbrella of things to do with the environment. Ozone layer specifically has actually recovered to a degree. It is no longer a constant just downhill slope of getting worse. This climate crisis segment, it's accurate, but only from a certain point of view. Now, anyone familiar with the original Star Wars trilogy, a certain point of view is not necessarily the whole truth. It can be a lie by lacking all the critical information. There's another link at the bottom, probably leading to a collection dish, or a state honeypot if you want to be paranoid. On the surface, it being this like call to action to get people in a truly dystopian police state type thing. It's also perfect bait. It's like, hey, you want to join together and fight the government? Join us, and oh, you're already in a jail cell. Fuck you. They better burn the ship before some neat freak idiot picks it up and gets arrested. Okay, now we can advance, but I want to see. Okay, that's just the stagger roll thing, not an additional reading list. Also, wait. I just like making this swing. It's funny. Oh, we can swing it over here or over there. Is there physics to this? I'm getting distracted just by the phone charm. It's kind of like the fun of phone charms, isn't it? Get it back over there. Anyway. Okay. Advance. If I'm feeling particularly uncurious, I could always just stare at the ceiling until my purchase is complete. I mean, let's look around more. Maybe we'll have more options now. There's still more to see, I'd wager. Is there? Oh, there's that. I forgot about that. Let me see if there's anything else that popped up. Okay. Hate these kinds of screens.
Gotta look with them your nose turned up or else they start eye tracking. Next thing you know, they're saying hello on a first-name basis. But I've got practice with this sort of thing. I can skim the headlines at least. Why, the 12-6 work week gives us more free time than ever. I'm 14 and I tried dating a smart UI. Made me the happiest I've ever been. This seems like a dig at ChatGPT conversation shit. How term limits are anti-democracy. Oh boy. Oof. Transfusion from warm androids save soldier's life. Oh right, warm androids are the androids with human bits. Got it. That's one hell of a headline. If the Animate 16 wasn't selling well before, I'm sure by now it's... Wait, how long has it been? It shouldn't take them that long to get my gun properly bugged. I'm sorry, we've received a breaking news story. We are seeking confirmation and yes, we have it confirmed. Lead programmer at Noble Electronics and famed designer of the Turing solution, Dr. David Asher, has passed. What? Proprietary Advantage Automated Dependent Management System, along with the Animate series of androids. Must be some kind of corporate propaganda tactic, or... No, they wouldn't risk. Fake news? But why? Perhaps best known for his breakthroughs in the field of machine learning and language. Misinformation, maybe. Trying to... Authored many of the developments that allowed for Noble's rapid growth and market dominance. David Asher is dead? Including the popular Desk series of smart UIs. That's very sad. I didn't ask. Sorry, I just... Commands only. Understood. Will you be paying with cash or credit? Debit. July 1st, 2086. The gun was light. Lighter than I expected. A real gun should always be heavy. Greater than the sum of its parts. That's one of the things I like about them. Their weight. Like they're anchoring the world around them. Like they're a fixed point in time. Like everything else is just relative to them, either closer or further to the end. I would have liked something heavier during that walk back to my apartment. I would have liked to have something feel far away from Morgan's apartment. Oh god, I don't like all these bright colors. What the fuck? Ow. Didn't realize I was home until my hand was on the door. God, this is worse than fucking Landlord White. Good lord. Okay, this angle's slightly better, I guess. What is this? What am I doing? What am I doing? Fumbling in my pocket for my lighter. Golden, polished, tastefully ergonomic and fine and expensive. And a good lighter. It was a good gift. I kept the card, didn't I? Here it is. To the only smoker in my life. I know gold's a bit much for your personal style, but they don't make a lot of these anymore. Believe it or not, the only other people who share your vice are stuffy old men with expensive taste. Hope you can manage to get some use out of it anyway. Your friend, David. Let's take a look at his profile. Alright, lead programmer at Noble Electronics. He likes street food, crowds, and fishing. Interesting for not just a programmer, a lead programmer. Dislikes brain freeze, driving, and limped. God, really big mood with driving. Eyeglasses are custom designed by Fiyama. I think those are two M's. The shampoo's expensive, and the sense of humor is, air quotes, unique. Interesting. Actually, is there anything different here? Yeah, I'm pretty sure these were not the same as last time. Body count, you cannot ask someone that. Double mini. A hidden talent in baking. I would not have suspected that. Very fair. Exercises by swimming, amongst other things. We are a criminal and a defense attorney, which makes us the best. Alrighty. So David. The news might have more information by now. Or not. Looks like the net's full of copy-pasted statements from Noble, auto-edited montages, ill-fitting quotes. David Schur was a renowned computer scientist, user experience designer, industry leader, philanthropist, and lead programmer at Noble. He first received worldwide recognition for his post-grad thesis on intelligent programmatic linguistic weighting, a body of work which would come to be known as the Turing solution, though he retained, why is the ED like this, the original patent on the Turing solution for the rest of his life. It's live edit, changing from current to past. He once retained the original patent. Up for the rest of his life, he was famously unlitigious. By most industry experts' estimates, the Turing solution exists in some form of 92% of active, automated, dependent source codes. David Asher's philanthropic efforts, and valuable skills placed him at the front and center of Noble Electronics' public image. Many considered him to be the unofficial face of the company, and his private life graced the tabloids and gossip sections of the net on many occasions. David Asher passed away on July 7th, 2086, citation needed. The entry has received an unusually large number of suggested edits in the last 44 minutes. Dissemination of disinformation is a Class 3 misdemeanor. Spreading conspiracy theories about public figures is a violation of our TOS. Reactions to the news from every celebrity under the sun. The raw, authentic emotion brought to you live from all the car seats and bathroom mirrors of the world. But there's nothing about his death. Not even a time window. Did he die this morning? Was he found dead in his bed? Has he been dead for days while Noble's just been waiting for the right time to let it leak? Or did he die last night while I was out screwing around? A phone call? Better not be work-related. I'm not in the right mood. Hey, Morgan. Thanks for picking up so fast. She's Jessica Starlin, who asked me to call her. Hi, Jess. Listen, I need to... I've already seen the news. What? Of course you have. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. The company and their people and all the... What I mean is, if it were up to me, it would have been the first call I made. For a decision like that to be up to David's assistant, about 1,000 other Noble employees above her on the ladder would have to get axed, but... It's alright, Jess. No one ever really knows what to do with these kinds of things. Still, I'm sorry you had to hear it from a stream Chiron. What difference does it make how the information gets to me? I could have stumbled upon his corpse myself and I would feel mostly the same. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call anyway. Yeah. If I want more information, she's the best source I'm going to get. Maybe for weeks. But to ask at a time like this, I'm supposed to express denial at first, but she's probably short on time. I don't feel like following the playbook to the letter right now. tell me what happened. The police, they think that he took something. Suicide? The police are already involved? They say it was some kind of poison, or... God. Noble's got a lot of weight to bludgeon the state with, especially in this city. I would think they'd keep the police at arm's length for at least a few days. Listen, Morgan, I need to ask something of you. Of course, Jess. Whatever you need. Whatever you need. A bit much, but she's grieving. This is just how people talk. And it's not like my day was really salvageable anyway. I'd like to bring you up here, to David's place. What do you mean? There's something I have to give you. You're not handling his will already, are you? If the police are involved, it'll be a while before... No, I'm sorry, it's not like that. Before he... No, please, don't hold back on my account. Write directly into the mic, why don't you? David asked me to get this into your hands. It wasn't work-related. But he asked me. I know I'm asking a lot here, but since it's turned out to be the last thing he ever asked me to do, I'd like to get it done. I don't like showing up at crime scenes more often, or more quickly than strictly necessary. And that's when I only have to worry about the police. With Noble looming over all this, security will be doubled, and scrutiny tripled. This is too risky. There's no logical reason to agree to her request. Swing by my place with a cab, yeah? Besides, my own morbid curiosity. Right, of course. Thanks, Morgan. Thank you. Wait, I almost forgot. What is it? You don't happen to have anything you could wear in black, do you? Maybe not the best time to have brought that up. In transit. The autocab hums a synthesized purr as our on-ramp merges onto a canopy superhighway, steadily and suddenly all at once. Not as much super about it, but does cast one hell of a shadow. The canopy's always felt very arts and crafts to me. Cobbled together. Always added on to, never finished, never planned. It's clearly taken a lot of time and effort to make. But the end result's still ugly. And it feels like it could fall apart at any moment. You okay, Morgan? You look a little carsick. I'm fine. Thanks for asking. If I ignore her text now, she'll just send more later. Hey, Freckles. Currently texting with which? Curious about how they got that name in the contact database, but we'll see, I'm sure. Saw your friend Asher on the news. Rip. Thank you. For trying to be sincere. Worth a shot. We all have our strengths. God damn, you're one passive-aggressive little girl. Why does all your filial piety go out the window whenever you talk to me? Filial piety doesn't work on you. You love yourself too much to appreciate respect. True, went the train. See, Freckles, you can be very insightful when you aren't too busy side-eyeing the whole world. Wonder where I picked that up from. Not from me. I'm pretty sure you were born muttering insults under your breath. So here's the question. Is it this actual mother? Is this blood mother? Is this mother who just raised us? Or it's just they insist on referring to us as our mother figure. Grammar on that last possibility might have been leaky. Oh well. The nurse says, try to make you cry, and you respond by giving them self-esteem issues. So, probably birth mother? Do you ever have dealings with Noble? 10 out of 10 shifted the convo. Subtle as a car crash. Subtlety doesn't work on you either. Well, it might, if you're good at it. This is me asking you for advice. Okay. Guess this never sunk in. Because you spent most of your apprenticeship asleep. But my clients were all celebs. The rich and famous. I didn't have that many dealings with the Megs that owned their likenesses. Is it really that different? Plenty. Celebs don't like people seeing their dirty side. So they pay smart people like me to clean up their messes. But Megs don't like people seeing them at all. Period. And also, Megs are a lot more lively when it comes to, I assume, fucking. Gross. Suspicion confirmed. Hard workers with a lot of stress to vent. Stop. Do you have any actual help to offer? Truth be told, I did have this one run-in where I got something deep into corporate intrigue. Don't know if this is explicitive or innuendo. Why? Because I got up the Vanna Life's 45 poster girl. Again, can't tell if these are explicitives or innuendos. I mean, I feel very confident saying this is up the ass of Analyze 45 poster girl, but I can't tell if it's sexually or metaphorically. God damn it. Hard worker. I'm assuming sexually. A lot of stress to vent. Glad to know I can always reach out to you in my time of need. I'm gonna let that slide because I know you're in mourning. Look. Corporate types are all a bunch of paranoid drug addicts. Huffing glue and playing roulette on their phones, while fantasizing about stabbing everyone else in the meeting to death. Man, I didn't know I was a Meg. I'm so good at this. So don't expect them to play nice just because Asher was your pal. My actual advice is, get whatever you're owed, then get out of there as fast as fuck, boy. That's a beautiful thought, Auntie. Okay, so aunt, not mother. I mean it. Corporations prefer Viking funerals. What's a Viking funeral? Dignified ceremony where the body's sent out to sea on a boat. Then, they set everything on fire and sink the ashes to the bottom of the ocean. Try not to linger, Freckles. You don't want to be stuck on board when they start knocking their arrows. Thanks. But what the hell was that about me sleeping on the job? I worked harder in one day than any of you Gen Alpha drunks did all week. Should have worked smarter. And if you want to go there, you did literally fall asleep on the job. Ooh. Boy. What is that? Why do you have that? Why do you have that? It's not even accurate. Work parties should still work, Freckles. I only had my eyes closed. Because all you old farts had your cameras flash on. Morgan? Something wrong? You're sweating. Just deleting some spam. Okay, let's see this. Oh wait, we didn't look at Starling. Executive assistant, dancing, buying shoes, reselling shoes, dislikes hangovers, soft mattresses, and machismo. Relaxes by bar hopping the lower boards, huh? And then Master's our aunt. Weight depends on the time of day, which sounds like a quote, but attributed to question mark. Occupation is lawyer to the rich and famous, semi-retired. Likes handsome men, pretty women, and expensive liquor. Dislikes the clingy, the prudish, and the having to fly commercial. Honestly, does anyone like flying commercial? Really? Age is difficult to verify. Smokes cigars, Death 13, cigarettes, and other adult stuff. Kind of a gilf, not gonna lie. Okay. Just delete spam. We did a couple more minutes of crawling through the canopies guts before we reach David's part of the city. Uptown. Our better half. Gleaming opera houses, towering corporate apartments. Boutique shops with more cameras than customers. Penthouses stacked upon penthouses in a frantic climb to the top of the rat pile. All ringed in by restaurants with long wait times and small serving styles. The joke is that uptown folks go most of the year without touching street level. Not much of a punchline there. It's basically true. By now, his whole block must be swarmed with cops, themselves surrounded by media, and all encircled by onlookers. I could try and enjoy these last few moments of calm, but if the storm's coming either way, I'd rather use this time to try and find my own footing. Actually, Jess, as if you've got a second, I was curious about... Okay, I don't think any of this is going to force this next part, so we'll just do an order. What's going on with you and David? Remind me, how many years did you and David work together? Oh, well, I started with the company about 4 years ago. They offered me a temp contract when I was graduating. I was put in HR right in the middle of a hiring burst, so I spent 2 months in the Warrens. Then aptitude test got me fast-tracked to mid-low management. Warrens? Oh, that's just what we called the company dorms back then, on account of all the people. Plus it was underground. Didn't see the sun that first month. My skin got so dry. Is that normal in your industry? Normal for everyone I've ever worked with. Except David, of course, but I mean, he was the pest. Yeah. One Tuesday morning, Dr. David Escher walked right up to my desk like I had won the lotto. Said I should come work for him. Dr. David Escher. Directly. Actually, wait a second. What does it mean to walk up to her like she had won the lotto? Like, metaphorically holding the big check, about to say you're a winner? Is it with, like, grim news? It's like, hey, you've won the lottery. I'm here to be your, not lawyer, like, your budget and tax guy to help you not, like, commit fraud by accident. Let's see, on a random Tuesday morning, like it was nothing. He didn't like to do things on Mondays. Said people were always too tired to get anything done anyway. Yeah, that's right. He did say that. I should know by now, right? 3 years of arranging meetings and keeping it organized and occasionally straightening his tie. He was a good boss. He was a good guy. Yeah. When did you last speak with him? In person? Thursday afternoon. The day before yesterday. He seemed normal. I mean, I didn't... we still don't really know anything, Jess. You're right. Thanks. Thursday's the last time I saw him. That's when he asked me to meet with you. Right, David's death. I'm guessing you've already been to his place? Yeah, it's a real mess over there. It's that bloody? Oh, God, no. Not that kind of mess. I just mean with the cops stacked on the media, stacked on the lawyers, each of them with their own network of drones and all their droning. It's very, it's a very high productivity atmosphere is what I mean. When were you able to get over there? Well, I got a call from legal late last night. They weren't exactly delicate in breaking the news to me. Last night, they said they need my help sorting through all his... Well, you know how he left things organized sometimes. He's been dead since last night, and they've kept it under wraps that long. I know there are a lot of powerful people in his circles, but stop it from leaking for over 12 hours? That seems like more than just your typical powerful people trying to control the narrative. Seems more like there's something they're actively trying to suppress. So you found out last night. Right, last night. Oh, God. I'm so sorry. I should have told you as soon as I found out. Really, it's all right. Did you see anything? No. I still haven't actually seen him at all. He was airlifted to the hospital ASAP, and that's where he passed, so... Well, I didn't get the impression that the cops had been there that long. Not compared to the lawyers. They and the rest of the company people seemed pretty entrenched. Noble set up camp before the police even arrived. So, what time would that have been? I guess I got there around 9 p.m.? Yeah, because at 9:15 they switched my phone to silent mode and I got locked out of everything but my work stuff. Sent my last blah at 9:13. See? Gonna expire whoever put me in heels this morning. Me. They can do that to your phone? Lock you out of social media? Of course not. Well, unless I'm on the clock. Or off the clock, but on company property. Then they can remote all my tech, yeah. How convenient. So if I got in at 9 p.m., I'd guess the rest of the company people had been there since 8:30 p.m.? I hadn't been there more than a few minutes before the mood changed. Heard about the hospital declaring him dead, it started to leak. I see. He died after he reached the hospital? That's unexpected. 2086, you might be in trouble if you get stuck in bureaucratic purgatory when you need to be in the emergency room, but other than that, if you reach the hospital alive, a good doctor can stabilize most any patient within a few moments. And Noble Electronics' lead programmer would have a very good doctor. So what the hell happened? Very good question. Is she mistaken? Was he just not officially declared dead until he reached the hospital for some reason? Or... Hard to think about, I know. Yeah. Hard to believe. The request... Jess, I have to wonder, what kind of request did David make of you that couldn't wait a few days? Right. Of course. He asked me to give you something. Something? Is she trying to build suspense? Right, it's just well, I don't know exactly what it is. You have no idea? He asked me to give you the contents of his safe. Are we headed to the bank then? No, see, he has his private safe in his basement. Maybe you've seen it? Well, I say safe, but it might be more accurate to call it a storage locker or a false wall. And all he told you was that he wanted me to have what's inside. Right. He was very clear about that part. Your eyes only, straight into your hands. Handle it in person, he said. Strange. This is all pretty analog for someone as technically gifted as David. Coming from anyone else, I'd call it paranoid. But David was never paranoid. Even when he had every right to be. If you wanted this handled a certain way, it must be for a good reason. That headline. I saw that headline, by the way. The one where your warm android saved that soldier's life. Oh, yeah. Pretty feel-good, don't you think? So folks at the company must be in high spirits lately, I take it. That's what I thought when I first heard about it, but I don't know. Maybe upper management's never happy? I mean, that's also true. Because they're still just riding sales harder than ever, pushing the traditional consumer markets. I thought they'd start building a pitch for Congress the day the story dropped. A big patriotic campaign telling everyone why we need a contract for warm androids in the military. Or I mean, at least in, like, emergency care, like medics, ambulance-trained people, those sort of positions, where you need to be able to act quickly and potentially save a life. But I haven't heard about them moving staff around for anything like that. Maybe it's all with my pay grade. All corporate power and money in the world. And they're still such joyless assholes that they won't even celebrate their victories. So, Dave asked you to do this on Thursday, correct? Yeah, Thursday. And he passed last night. Friday. Yeah. Wait, you don't think that when he met he had already decided? It's not healthy to speculate on that sort of thing. More importantly, it's not helpful. The dead don't have anything to offer the living. I should know. You're probably right. Besides, we'll need to focus. Judging by the size of the crowd I'm looking at, it looks like we're about to jump into the thick of it. 10:34 a.m., July 1st, 2086. Noble Employee Housing Building. Plataya? Lobby. Ooh. I thought there were a lot of police here before. Maybe too late to ask, but you're not bad with crowds, are you, Morgan? She's kidding, right? Downright airy in here compared to what we just waded through. Wide eyes and clenched fists, heads peeking over shoulders and around signs. Police, both mechanical and warm-blooded, closing ranks with holograms and quick-set wires to draw a severe perimeter. All protesters, mourners, fanatics and busybodies shuffle about at the edges of the police line, the heat of their panicked anxiety washing over. Who the hell were all those people? Well, there's always been people with strong feelings about our products. Androids step forward into the mob, gently, firmly, unfeelingly parting the human tide. Most of them with official police branding, but a few remotely deputized consumer models emerge from the crowd to join them. All of them built by Noble. All of them built from David's code. All of them standing vigil outside his tomb. This is all technically company property, isn't it? Yep, David had the penthouse all to himself, but every other floor's tenants are Noble employees too. Not an uncommon arrangement in Uptown. Work at Noble, rent from Noble. Wave hello to your Noble neighbor in the morning and make sure to request a spot in line at the official company crematorium. They don't actually do that last part, I think. Does Noble handle employee funerary arrangements? Yeah, it's a pretty standard benefit, actually. It's cheap for them compared to dental. Fair. But Noble's always been generous with benefits. Work hard and the company will have you set for life. And after. Both the state and Noble have gotten themselves entrenched here in the lobby. Security and damage control and PR and liability. Everybody just glad to be working. I'm feeling a little overstimulated. Any chance we could just skip all these checkpoints? No, absolutely not. So, who do we need permission from? The cops or the company. My request went through, so we should have the go-ahead from both at this point. We won't need to go near the actual, is it still called a crime scene? It's not technically a crime. I don't want to think about how many suits Noble's paying to debate that question right this very instant. David's vault is in the penthouse's basement, but we can't get to it from these ground floor elevators. We'll have to ride straight up to the rooftop veranda, walk in his front door, and then head down. If Jess says we can do all that without stumbling across where he died, then... Okay. So if we just flash my ID card at any problem that comes up, including him... Hey, ladies, look. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid we're at capacity at the moment. Let anyone else by, and we won't be able to maintain... Huh. You're that lawyer. Morgan. You got me, detective? How long's it been? Feels like it's been ages. Oh dear. Not still bitter about our last encounter, I hope. I'll live. I don't see the spunky one around. Is she taking a mental health day to preserve that unflappable charm? Detective Reyes is around. Why? You miss her that bad? I've had line pimples that were more endearing. You two know each other? Jess, darling. Meet homicide detective Qasim London. It's a pleasure, miss. Oh, likewise? As you might have guessed, the detective and I are acquainted. Comes with a line of work. Morgan's being modest, sweetheart. We're practically blood. Oh, wow. Me? Sweetheart? Something wrong, Starling? No, nothing wrong. But close as we are, I still can't just let her walk in off the street, onto the scene of an ongoing investigation. Even Noble's lawyers have to play by the rules today. Play by the rules? So there is a game afoot. What makes you assume I'm here in a professional capacity? You're a criminal defense attorney and we're at a crime scene. Called an old man's intuition. Good detectives don't rely on intuition, though, do they? They rely on evidence. Oh, I don't rely on it, don't worry. I just need to lean on it every now and then, when my back acts up. Man, the old man metaphors. Oh, cool. Guy gets a bit gray in his hair and thinks it's a free pass to act like a goddamn cowboy. I mean, we need some wild cowboy type, don't we? It's one of the fun archetypes for a character to have, in opposition to the main character. Oh, freaking missed the trash can, one sec. Can get in there. Okay. Well, I'm afraid your intuition is off this morning, detective. I'm here on a private matter. The deceased wasn't your client? No, that would have been a conflict of interest. Conflict of... You two knew each other. I see. In that case, allow me to give you my condolences. Thank you. But what I could really use is a bit of your help. You sure rally fast. Jess? Right. We have this clearance here, detective. Sir, from legal, which allows us... That's all right, little lady, I trust you. You can leave the paperwork holstered for now. Well, little lady, we aren't here for David, really. We won't be setting foot anywhere near your staging area, detective. All right, why not? How generous. I can afford to be generous today. Because if I screw up... He gestures to the lobby full of suits and cops. Plenty of folks at hand ready to pick up the slack. Well, if you're that at ease, perhaps I can take this time to ask you a few questions. Hey, you can always ask, Tiger. But I think you understand what I mean when I say whether or not I can answer is not entirely up to me. Alright. So none of these is gonna force us to move on. We'll start, late. Looking tired there. You're looking a bit haggard. How long have you been here, anyway? Since this morning. But civilized folks don't call it morning when the streetlights are still on. Even if you got here around 1 or 2 in the morning, it still means homicide wasn't brought in until hours after Noble had the lay of the land. Sounds like you could use a break. I could use a retirement package. Pay your lawyer, right? According to all my business cards. Think I can sue for elder abuse? Not that kind of lawyer. Sorry. You would lose, though. I already regret asking. Why have they got a homicide detective losing sleep over this anyway? Man is dead, and he wasn't killed by fire, a vehicle, organized criminals, or disinformation. As far as we know. So at the moment, homicide's technically not the worst fit, but we're leading in name only. A high-profile death like this, everyone's got an eye on us. And a hand placed firmly on the back of our neck. Alright, cooperating. You boys and Noble all getting along with each other, sharing your toys. Some of the younger ones are bristling. But I always play well with others, Counselor. And how well do the Megs play with you? They give you full access to building security. They've given us access, and they say it's full. Some big penumbra system. Top-line coverage, top to bottom of the building. The size of the data stream's torrential. It'll be a while before we can start making sense of it all. A more conspiratorial man might think that was intentional. Bury us in data and hope we're too swamped to find whatever they're trying to hide. Maybe. Wait, they gave you full access to the penumbra? That means every android in the building is feeding you their full spectrum. You know your stuff. The penumbra pulls data from any androids connected to a building's net, but that's not much help since there weren't any androids in the penthouse. Right. I'd heard the rumors. Never put much stock in them, but it's true. Asher really never owned a single android? Never. Well, I suppose I might do the same if I was the genius who programmed them all, but also, let's just bring this back up. This seems like foreshadowing. It's like, why would the game need to state so clearly, it's like, no, he never had an android, even though he designed them. So yeah, we're definitely like going to pick up an android in a safe, right? Let's see, every time they open their mouths, it'd just be his own lip service refracted 1,000 times over, echoing back at him from behind a mask he carved. So that means all you'll have to investigate with are the penthouse security cameras. Yeah, but that should be more than enough to wrap up a case like this. In a good way. We're very much on top of this lady's investigation. I've been checking my phone, but the only thing the news seems to agree on is that David passed away. Sorry, but if you're asking for details, no, thank you. For not letting them make this into a parade. Yet. We do our best to respect the privacy of anyone involved within an ongoing investigation. He declined to say victim. Detective. Dr. Asher was a close friend of mine for many years. Yeah, he trusted Morgan more than anyone. Can you tell me if he killed himself? It looks like that's the case. I see. Thank you for telling me that. Dr. Ash. Yeah, you're a... sorry. Another round of guarded words. David was an important man, and it has only been a few hours. But all this tiptoeing gives me the feeling that whatever happened to David, it wasn't cut and dry. And the controversy. David was one of the biggest names in tech. He was the face of Noble Electronics. Uh-huh. One could argue androids are only as common as they are today because of his contributions to the field. Some people felt that way, sure. So do you think anyone would want to hurt him because of that? Remind me, which one of us is the detective again? You really won't let me pick your brain? You already know the answer. Yes, ads are controversial, androids especially. We at Noble are aware that our products are sometimes the subject of heated debate, but no need to quote the handbook at us, miss. Truth be told, I've never really understood the hate. It's not that complicated, is it? How many people have lost a job to an ad at least once in their career? Every last one of them lost their jobs because their bosses, their flesh and blood bosses, fired them. Nah, ads are just a symptom. Scratch that. Ads are just a product. Getting mad at them is pointless. And vandalizing them is less than pointless because unlike us, they're all insured. And besides, Android production has surged over the last decade to become one of the nation's biggest exports. True. Nice to have at least one thing we make in this country. That's right. Noble only outsources the production of a small handful of internal components. Every other part of the manufacturing process is proudly done right here at home. That's an important point that's going to come up, isn't it? It's whether a particular part was produced in the... Well, actually, I don't know if this is in the U.S. It's produced in this particular company. Sorry, country, not company. I somehow doubt everyone considers the specifics of Noble's supply chain to be a point of national pride. But you don't need a political science degree to see how much the state values Noble's contributions to the national economy. Alright. Now, listen, I don't mind being helpful, and I am trying to be sensitive here, but we really do have a lot on our hands at the moment. So I'm going to have to ask you to be discreet, and ideally fast. Well, our business is just in the basement. David's basement. But the penthouse is on the top floor. The roof. So basement would be second to last floor if you want to be technical detective. The point is, we don't need to go into the kitchen or the parlor. We'll go straight back to his workshop and then head downstairs. The kitchen, the parlor. I understand. But all the same, I'd like to escort you two ladies there myself. Wow, an escort. Like royalty. Is he a gentleman? Yes, he's... Lead the way, detective. True to his word, London ushered us past the chattering suits and humming drones, through the checkpoints and into the elevator. As it climbed into the sky, we got a good look at the growing throng of people gathered outside. And its shifting makeup. Seems like it's mostly protesters now, or worse, brand loyalists. Idiots led around by the nose their whole life, following the musk of whatever trend is laid out before them each morning, which I don't think is an inaccurate statement. I don't think brand loyalty should really be a thing at this point. It's one thing when it's like a small, local, mom-pop style place, maybe a half dozen locations. But once you're at the point of a company having a fucking CEO, board of directors, publicly traded stock, brand loyalty should not exist for that company. Because at that point, you are for profit and profit first. You're not about the little guy, you're not about your local community, you're not about your employees or your customers. All those are secondary to, at minimum, profit, and potentially even to just good PR. You will use all those other things to look good, not necessarily be good. Because remember, fine, if nothing else, it's just the cost of doing something easier than you otherwise are legally required. Today's trail, having led them here, For half reasons they couldn't put into words even if their lives depended on it. They're like insects. And they look like them from up here. They're probably already preparing their spin. The misunderstood genius of Dr. Usher. A video essay in 5 parts, each of them 5 to 6 hours long. Why the company insisted on cultivating such a following for him, I've never understood. They could have easily pinned his achievements on someone more marketable. Some random photogenic employee, or a fashion model with glasses. David wouldn't have minded. He never wanted the attention, the chaos. Ooh. Personal theory, it could have been to help keep a leash on David. Tie him to the company in a way where it's like hand in hand. Together, they are what makes this product work. Which would put pressure on any competitors from trying to buy him out. To pick his brain, to headhunt him, whatever you'd like to say about it. It's a pretty decent move if you're a money-greedy company. Maybe it's as simple as bad luck. He just happened to have the right look for the part. A man buried in his work, with his eyes fixed ahead. 10:32 a.m., July 1st, still. Noble Employee Housing Building, Platea. Penthouse. Another time of big sloops. To prepare the throat for this. I think potentially will end at the end of the reveal for the safe. Because I think the plan was to end at 10, but once again we have been sucked into the plot. And also, that end of Chapter 0 took a little longer than I actually expected. Wait, no, the plan was still 11. But yeah, that should be about then. This is, what, his laboratory? His shop, he called it. How down to earth. It's messy in here. David was always disorganized. Why a programmer needed to make such a mess just to run tests on computers, I'll never... But sloppy as he could be, he didn't like it when other people saw it. If he was leaving things like this, he must not have entertained any guests down here in some time. Thanks for all your help, Detective London. Don't mention it. What, you want me to step out? We won't take long. Not lacking for boldness, are you? Look, I have to take a phone call. We'll be in and out as soon as possible. Promise. Whatever Dr. Ash wanted set aside for his foundation, be sure to flag it. Right. At least she's already wearing gloves. If we find a dead body, you'll be our first call. What was that stuff about his foundation? Dr. Ash's charity has always been managed by an outside group. You haven't spent a lot of time around crime scenes, have you? Actually, this is my first. Well, generally speaking, it's not really common to retrieve things from the premises while the cops are still searching them. Oh! Look, if David had something to give to me, we can go get it. We just can't make a ton of noise about it, understand? Of course. Great. After you. Right. Quiet as a church mouse. The phrase is quiet as a church mouse, but... Wait, what did she say? Did I misread it? A church house. Okay, yeah. I'm just too used to the actual phrase, but... Actually, what would a church house be? Would it be the living quarters for any of the clergy? Maybe. Semantics for another day. Caught myself? I'm okay. But now it doesn't seem like the time to correct her. David's shop was a mess, but the mess felt familiar. It was very David. Coming down here, I barely recognized the place. For starters, there's a goddamn gym. David hated exercise, always claimed he didn't have the time for it. Even when I got on that treadmill and the subscription for the personal coaching program with the scheduled subroutine, said he couldn't find the time. And then even when I explained to him that the program accounted for that and adapted to his schedule, he still... Morgan? Oh, what's up? You're smiling. What's so funny? Nothing. Just surprised to see the place renovated. Yeah, he actually had me on mail tag with a couple contractors a while back. Never thought I'd have to learn so much about concrete and wiring and marble. Did you know marble needs to be treated, or else indoor air will start to corrode it? I didn't know that. Is that true? Wait, is it not? But our guy told me that without an epoxy finish, the entire bar table could... Is that the vault over there, then? Yeah. Stands out, I guess. Nervous? What's that? Oh, a little, I guess. But the inhaler helps, mostly, so... Aren't you going to open it? Open it? Don't you know the combination? No. I do not know the combination to David's basement vault. Oh, no, how could I... He didn't tell you or give you a code, or... He gave me the code to get into the building. And the parking garage. But not the code to whatever this is. Okay. You know, there were a lot of scattered papers back in his shop. Could he have left you a note on one of them? Yes, he could have. He would have. In fact, I think he probably did. You just stay right here, Morgan. I'll have this settled in just a sec. Sounds good. Okay, so we're going to have to investigate this place for the code, right? This seems like a fun way to end off. Right then. Nope. Well, it's definitely locked. Looks like it's a Tethys Basic Secure Anti-Hack Anti-Digital High-Rated Code Panel. No, this isn't it. Tethys, here we go. It's the largest online shopping consumer. So this is pretty much Amazon. Yes, we really do have everything for sale. Okay, so this is important for how this is going to work. Got it. Nothing basic about it. But at least I can see the password's limited to 6 characters. Only 1 million possible combinations. Gambling isn't about luck. So screw that noise. Forget it. There's a different terminal over here. COD or security systems, according to the label. Maybe it controls the whole room? Damn. It's password protected too. The code's 64 digits long. What's the point of a camera system that's harder to crack than your literal vault, you egg-headed... Okay, yeah. The programmer probably would care more about his IoT than whatever he can fit in a safety deposit box. I guess a 6-digit vault or nothing. 1 sec. IoT... There we go. Internet... That's right, the Internet of Things thing. It's knowing how to do stuff. Okay. But I'm a lawyer, not a lockpick. Hey, Brazen! Welcome. Are we still protecting clients from the consequences of our actions? Not today, actually. We are coming to pick something up that our late friend left behind, and declined to give us a code into the vault where it is kept. Ah, Gringo. Let's see, what were you doing? Let's see, Avatar Flesh, what was it about? Shit, I can't find the info. I know you talked about it earlier thing. I know you mentioned it as more like John Carpenter's The Thing, but I can't remember if it was like from a webcomic or a game you're currently messing with. She is also the avatar of hunger. Gotcha. So... Oof. Web novel, okay. Well, okay, when you say avatar, like, are you talking like literal puppet of a deity on Earth representing flesh and hunger, or figurative, they are larger than life type of personality? Let's see. Lawyer line lockpick. Also, yeah, I told Brazen that we're here to pick something up in the vault where we don't have a code. And I assume we're going to have to investigate this area. Avatar is a 6-letter word. I don't think we're going to have to manually enter it, though. It doesn't seem like this kind of game. Well, let's see. Whatever other felonies I get up to in my private time, I've never pulled off a bank heist before. Fair enough, at least she knows her limits. She's not an avatar of pride, at least. Only tool I've got here is my head. So what do I know? I know whatever David put in the safe, he wanted it kept secure. And I also know that he wanted me to have it. So maybe he thought ahead. Maybe he guarded it in such a way that I'd be the only one who could get to it. David liked games. He really liked beating me. So if he's left one last puzzle for me, I don't mind going another round. Okay, so this is a big room. Let's see, we got inspect bottles, inspect these shelves, admire this painting up here. That's the vault, I think. Nothing on the car. I would have expected something on the car, or maybe this bookshelf. Sorry, I just remembered a dumb old video. I don't. Maybe you two are old enough to also remember it. The guy's like filming a video in his garage, showing off a bookshelf, and how putting a bookshelf in the garage somehow helped him afford his Lamborghini. I specifically remember the version of that video where someone has like spliced and edited it so it goes back and forth. As you can see here, I have bookshelves so I could fit more Lamborghini here in my Lamborghini garage. I kind of hope that someone has done maybe a mix with that and this setting video. Okay, we have the weight gym here in my garage. yeah, that guy. Oh, here, I'm gonna just pin that, and hopefully I'll be able to remember that. Because I want to look that up and watch it after stream now. Okay, we'll start with this, because the weight gym is something she specifically mentioned coming in and describing the scene. Taking a closer look, this is a pretty serious looking set of resistance training equipment. And these weights, they're all set near the max. If Noble hadn't appointed him a nutritionist along with his stylist, Dave would be downright scrawny. There's no way he's putting up these numbers. In which case, digits on weights could be a clue. But there's too many and I can't guess the order. So what the hell, Asher? Did you just set all the weights to max because it looked more neat? Interesting point. Oh, I didn't notice that they're cracking the ground. Is there anything else I missed? Wait a second, what's going on with these chairs, actually? Why are these three highlighted but not that one? I don't like that. Let's check the crack. This flooring's a new addition. Looks rough, like sandpaper, but it's bouncy, rubberized. Feels like something you drag your feet on at the gym or on a factory floor. It's more high performance than high class. Expensive, but not in the way you'd expect for a penthouse. Knowing some of the spoilers I have about the game, but not precisely where they pop up. Okay, so we said this is like stuff you'd find in a warehouse. Expensive wear and tear, right? Yeah, handling a lot of wear and tear. So he's expecting something high weight coming through here, perhaps? Well, scratch that. It's actually cracked here. Rubber doesn't break, it bends. That's its thing. So someone must have cheaped out during the installation, left a defect in. that. Or Dave left a jackhammer on overnight. Okay, painting next. It's a very big painting. I like how that's the first line we get, and it earns us points. That's a big painting. That's a smart observation they had. But it's a big painting. It's a impressionist? No, cubicle. Cubist, which is still incorrect. Yeah, cubicle. No, cubicle is where, low-paid workers go to just kill their soul off. That sounds right. It is not. Whatever its style, I do remember that David liked this painting. Big blue painting. Okay. Predator is an oil-on-canvas painting by the mid-21st century neo-abstract expressionist Mads Haestorp? I can never quite remember how this is pronounced, but I know it's... Oh, wait, no, I do. Because Historic Materials has it. Looked up. Tiemen, I think? So, Haestorp, I think? So, Mads Haestorp. Arguably his most well-known work is displayed in the Krullerheim Centre d'Art Moderne for 9 months, before Haestorp entered the premises on 11/25/58. 25/58. No. One second, I'm going to type this in the chat thing just so I remember it for later. I'm not going to actually use it. Oh, sorry, I'm not going to send it into chat, it's just typing it here. Pronunciation in Haestorp is close enough, it's Danish. Yeah. But let's see. They used a hunting knife to cut a singular massive canvas into 3 separate pieces. One asked for comment, Haestorp, my works are not complete until they have been signed. So is this implying that the cutting into 3 pieces is the signature? Perhaps. Okay. If there was a date on it, that could be a 6-digit password, but I don't see one anywhere. Maybe signing your work was considered gauche amongst the cubicleists. We'll do drinks. This must be his spare liquor cabinet. Obvious. Light blue opaque glass. The finest of liquor bottle materials. Damn, there's a lot of good stuff in here. Oh yeah, I have it typed in the thing too. I just didn't want to send it into chat because, if we get talking long enough, it just get lost, and I hate this roll right now. Let's see, a lot of good stuff in here, and a lot of bottom shelf swill. The kind of bargain bin vodka and nose burner whiskey that only an undergrad performer could love. Nostalgia's sweet like that. Overpowering. I have a thought, but I'm not going to go into it yet. 1 part per million can cover up even the cheapest aftertaste. Let's see, Bringo, I refuse to fail this close to my goal. I'm not some impotent waste of space that can't even take care of myself. Wait, what is this a copy-pasted thing? My job to take care of everyone else, and no disability, no apocalypse, and no goddamn angel is going to stop me from doing that. It's not a bad little quote from them. I'll give you that. I could see that as like the summary on the back of a novel. David's wine collection. Still towering over the room. Okay, so that's a wine. When it zoomed in on this panel earlier, I thought they were like guns or something. I was like, that's a lot of guns to just store like that. Don't know why he'd buy so many bottles. He didn't even particularly like the stuff. He just fell out all these shelves. But not all the bottles are untouched. Some of them don't have dust on them at all. There's a mechanism for retrieving bottles off the rack. The latest bottle chosen was a Murducamp 81. Could be significant. Don't know why I said significant. Except vintages only list the year they were bottled, not the month or day. Not enough digits in code. One sec, what was that? Was it 81? Yeah, 81. So maybe it's the year off of each thing. Because that other number, the year was 58. These, 81. search the whole room. Time to make or break. Merde du Camp? Yeah. Okay, so I guess it is something I have to physically type in. Let's do a quick check. Can we back out of this? Nope, it's making us go forward. Okay. 558. Date the painting was signed. Password that isn't left in plain sight. Nice one. Except, here's the weird thing. Where was it? Terms? Yes, big blue painting. It was in here, which says the actual type of art it was. It was not a cubicalist. It was a neo-abstract expressionist. So how is she getting this info? Like, just meta-knowledge, like, how is this working? Anyway. Don't need that number anymore, thankfully. Nice one. I mean, I know Wikipedia, but, like, what's the context of the info being in the phone, but her not actually knowing? So this web novel, Durango, this Avatar of Flesh and Hunger is presumably doing the very thing that got her those titles, in your opinion. She's devouring every single corpse, absorbing. Say IoT, yes, Internet of Things. Which I'm blanking on what the term was for this, like what it means in this setting. Refers to the network data sharing that goes on between all countless electronics that we monitor. Oh, yeah. So all the, like, Bluetooth connections and detections, like... So here's the thing about me. I turn off Wi-Fi and Bluetooth capability on every phone I've ever had. One, for battery, that's not trying to just wildly connect to any device that's open. And two, because leaving those connections open, someone who is malicious enough could have a false Wi-Fi router with the same name as a local open router, or someone malicious enough to and knowledgeable enough Bluetooth could actually fuck with your phone. I'm not risking that shit. It's a very real thing, and I don't like it. In cyberpunk dystopia where we are a killer, that's very much a thing to fear. Hey, Morgan, But how did you get it open? That's... So the picture could have a small info transponder thing to inform viewer of the painting's history. Oh! It's possible, but I'm not sure... God, it was a while back. Let's see if it'll actually let us scroll up to the painting. Probably. So there's the bottles. Vodka. Does it say if this is the original? There's the... Cubicle sounds right. I mean, it could be original. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be or if it's a recreation. But I suppose if it is the original, it's possible there is a transponder. That's how she got the info. It's not a perfect answer, but I would accept that for how the phone has the correct info, but Morgan did not. Let's see. What is that? I turn back around, just in time to see a door finish swinging open with mechanical grace, revealing a girl with a barcode emblazoned across her temple. It's a hypothesis, at any rate. It's not important for the plot, but it's reasonable enough. I would accept it. Let's see. Required by law to be plainly visible. It's an android, clearly marked as such. And yet, even standing this close, I could swear it's... snoring? I step forward and place the back of my wrist on the android's brow. Or... It must be a prototype for the Animate 16. Or maybe a prototype for the 17? The 18? A biomechanical android with real human flesh. Sorry, biomechanically, yes. It's organic flesh, not human. They're grown from lax Gemini. Wait, grown from lax Gemini cultures with Sorry, I misspoke. Right. Understandable, since you seem surprised, Jess. Hasn't Noble been working on norm androids like this one for years? You know, I think this is a good saving point. I'll save there. But yeah, I think this is going to be a fun place to start the next one. And, you know, we do have a couple minutes left. Let's look up the fucking Lamborghini meme thing that's happened. We'll leave it on this screen until I find it. Then swap the focus of the screen. Okay. Am I spelling? No, I'm not spelling Lamborghini correctly. Okay. Okay. There's the original. Here's an edit. Okay, yeah, this one about 2 minutes long. Oh, this looks like the original. So we'll go ahead and get this on. Or Android, so long as it's not the Galaxy 7. Sorry, Galaxy Note 7. Man, don't you miss when quality goods were actually buyable? Not even great quality goods, just decent quality goods. Anyway. Let's see. Sec. Just gonna get the crop right before I share. Nope, too thin. Way too big. Okay. That one should work. Okay. Go ahead and center that. Alrighty. So, classic meme. How old is it? Fuck, 10 years ago. Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck. I was barely into my first... No, wait, that would have been my second job at the time. God damn. Second job ever. It's when this would have come out. Ugh.
Here in my garage, I just bought this new Lamborghini. Fun to drive up here in the Hollywood Hills. But you know what I like a lot more than knowledge? This new Lamborghini. But you know what I like a lot more than this new Lamborghini here? My TEDx talk where I talk about this Lamborghini. In fact, I'm a lot more proud of these 7 Hollywood Hills than I had to get 1,000 Lamborghinis.
The awkward pause, too.
The more you earn, the more you drive up here in the Hollywood Hills. That's the real reason I keep this Lamborghini. The real reason I keep this Lamborghini here is that it's a reminder that dreams are still possible.
Dreamers.
That I was in a little Lamborghini on bookshelves in the Hollywood Hills with only $47 million in my bank. 47 Lamborghini in my Lamborghini. 47 goals in my Hollywood. And only 47 TEDx talks where I talk about more buttons in my TEDx talk. I talk about more buttons here. But you know what? Something happened that changed my life.
It's...
Lamborghini and another Lamborghini. A few more Lamborghinis. I found 5. I don't call it money anymore. I call it fuel. But you must have enough fuel. You must have enough Lamborghinis. You must construct additional pilots.
Yep.
See on my website, it's a quick video, and you'll see there absolutely.
Why is it so funny? Oh, God. As funny as Skibbity Toilet is, and the same kind of like absurdist type comedy, a couple steps further, but similar comedy. I prefer that one. That's just ridiculous. Alrighty. With that, let's find someone to raid into. I Baraka might still be going. Let's see. We'll pop over to the BRB screen while I look up if she is still streaming. Okay. Yeah, this type of work. Alright. Dang. Sadly, not. Let's see. Options. Unholy Atlas. Haven't been over to them in a bit. As well as Hemi playing Still Wakes the Deep. What's the... Ooh, it's an 18 plus stream, but... looks like for horror reasons. Nah, we'll head over to Unholy Atlas playing some Nine Souls. Soul like star, the sun, not like the immortal soul of the body, whatnot. Alrighty. Slash read. Oh. There we go. Alright, it's been fun. I think I'll continue Of the Devil next week. We'll find out who this warm android is that we've been told to take on as one of the last requests of our late friend, Dr. Asher. Until then, as always, my wonderful tome readers, I hope you guys and gals and non-binary pals are eating enough, drinking enough, getting enough sleep. Take care of your body so your body can take care of you. Hopefully, wherever you are staying, if those of you who are in the U.S., as you're not going to be harassed by unwanted fireworks noises. And the heat dome, or whatever it was called, is just like wavering out because fucking weather sucks. Yeah, see you guys next week with, well, Of the Devil, another Art in Minecraft, and maybe another surprise that I hope you guys will be able to see, depending on my skills to figure it out. See you then.